Hi everyone, this is In the Middle
with Kes and Jamie.
Hi everyone. Hi Jamie.
Hey Kes.
How
hey
are
guys.
you?
How are you?
Good, good.
Fine.
I'm good. All right, so today we're going to talk about Stormy Daniels. You know who she is, right?
Oh yes.
Now a writer of a book, but previously, anyway,
Did she really write the book?
To be continued.
Okay.
We'll cover what's going on with CNN, MSNBC, and the whole Jeff Zucker resigning immediately.
Right.
And we'll talk about some fun things, as always, potentially, maybe even animal zoo stories.
Cool.
See you in a minute. Jamie, you know what?
Sorry.
A lot of stories are happening, and the other relationship situation that came out recently is the Jeff Zucker, the CEO, CEO, right?
I guess.
Yes.
The top guy at CNN.
Former now, head of CNN, has resigned immediately, and that story seems to be very strange too. The couple of things that I think that raise the question. I mean, the situation at CNN generally.
What is the situation?
So the situation, he resigned because he had to disclose that he is having a relationship with another
a
consensual relationship with another senior executive at CNN, and they apparently worked together for a very long time. They've known each other, and over COVID, the relationship sort of developed, and they did not disclose it properly at the time, the right time. So that came out due to the investigation on CNN, and basically there's a lot of things that are going on there. And so I want to ask you, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Any of it rings like Me Too movement issues? What do you think?
I think, obviously, as an executive, he should have known that this was not a smart move. And in today's environment, that is.
Exactly.
And in former environments, it would be just a Tuesday again, a regular day. But he should have known better. Now, I think that we're getting a little bit out of control.
They're both not in a relationship. They're
Right.
not having affairs. They're adults.
No. That's my other thing. It's like, when are you going to sit there and say somebody can't, date somebody at all? I mean, they're controlling everybody's decision, even if you're two consenting adults that are of almost equal power. I mean, obviously he was a little bit higher, but. I have not heard of anything being coerced or anything else. What pisses me off more is she's still there. So
well, yeah,
I don't think that's fair.
Immediately.
I think she should go too. I mean, it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I mean, it is not fair for the man to only be the one that pays the price.
But my question is really, why does he have to leave? Okay, they had a relationship. They're having a relationship.
Well, I agree.
They did disclose it. It is consensual.
Yeah.
What seems to be,
and I don't know,
like what seems to be the problem there? If the ethical rules of corporate world have been broken, is that it?
Yeah.
Or is it the Me Too because he was taking advantage even though it was consensual?
No.
What seems to be the issue there?
It predates Me Too, but it's just the way that it's been developing over the last few years. And a lot of the reasons why the corporations put these kind of rules in there, and companies put these rules in there, because they didn't want to be having to deal with some kind of BS like this.
Listen, I just heard from a friend that apparently in their company they have a rule that you can't wink at one another.
Well, see, that's where you get bullshit. I mean,
because apparently that's harassment.
That drives me nuts.
Well,
you can't. Here's the thing. It's like, you look very nice today, Kes.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh,
really,
I've been harassed.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And apparently you can ask a co-worker. Well, the problem here comes is most of us spend a lot of time at work, and we meet our partners or, our husbands, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, through work. A lot of people do. because there's so much time that we spend there. So
Yeah, you're spending
how
much
does that
more time.
then? How does it work? And so the executives are at some kind of disadvantage because they're a senior level and they no longer can have a relationship at work. What would have happened if they did disclose it? If when they started dating, they would have come up to CNN and the board of directors and said, "Look, we want to tell you that we are in a relationship." Do you think anything would have changed?
No, they would have made them, one of them, they'd still make one of them leave, I guarantee you. I mean, so this entire line about, because he didn't disclose it is bullshit. I mean,
And then the fact
they'd
that
still make him leave.
CNN is at some kind of,
But she needs to go, period.
So
I mean, I'm serious. I don't think he should have gone, but if he's going to have to go, then she has to go too. They're both executives. It's not like, she's a secretary, something like
Right.
that.
It's interesting. I mean, I think that at some point we really do have to draw the line of when this needs to stop and what the normality is.
Well, I agree.
And again, for me, I find it, I'm just curious because I don't understand what would have changed if they disclosed it. And then at what point do we still have our own privacy about what we do in the bedroom, if you wish? Right? Okay, so
I mean, they don't buy the whole you, but they're acting like they have. Like, okay, we have control over what you're doing in your private life as well as or oversight over your private life versus just what you do at work. Exactly. And so it becomes ridiculous on all fronts. But even the other night when you and we were watching that TV show, there was this TV show. It's a recent show, and the guy was blowing the straw, the paper at the girl. I'm like, that could not happen today. I mean, you were kind of discussing this, and it was the most innocent thing. He was just blowing the paper off of a straw.
But you know what? The Me Too movement, the relationships with executives or higher powers and so on and so forth. We have another story about that too, and this kind of links in as well because a powerful man with an alleged relationship with somebody else, and how people can blow that out of proportion or not blow out or use that for their advantage.
Right. That's true. Now, some people cash in on that and do the tell-all books and so forth.
I don't think this is the situation here, though, but I still don't quite understand what exactly that will do for the future of CNN, Mr. Zucker himself and that relationship. What will really come off it?
Well, I do want to point out one thing. See, CNN's already got its butt in a crack already because of Chris Cuomo, who got fired just recently.
The investigation.
And so that's the investigation that disclosed this relationship when the investigators were investigating it. So the CNN already has a corporate culture of having some problems in this area. So it's going to be interesting to watch this to see how this all plays out because it is tied to Chris Cuomo. And is there more to this than we know? Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, we'll follow up on that when the situation develops.
The main thing I think is what's important is that all of this is kind of infiltrating all of our lives wherever we work, no matter what you do. And it's getting to the point where it almost makes you. This is my thesis. It's going to make people stop hiring women, or they're not going to hire certain groups or age groups and all this other stuff because they don't want to have to deal with either harassment or the stories or they're not going to want to have the possibility of somebody making accusations, even though they could be true or they could be false. They don't have them in the workplace. So I think it can work against it.
And then
it could be all women,
and not hire men, just not to have that situation.
And so now, what do we have? We have a separate, be equal.
Stop! You're sexually harassing me. Thanks. See you guys later.
Bye.
All right, listen. I know that a lot of people change professions, and I've know now of one actor that is, I guess, formerly known as Prince, not really, formerly known as an adult movie.
Porn star. Adult film star.
Yes,
adult film star. Yes.
Actor.
Yep.
Stormy Daniels. Now she's back on the top list of stories, and not because of her actions necessarily, but because the court and the jury has decided that her former lawyer
Yeah.
is actually guilty of fraud.
But wait a minute, before we go into that, let's just remind everybody
Yes,
who
please.
Stormy Daniels is. Stormy Daniels is the woman that was a porn star that had had an affair or some kind of relationship with Donald Trump, allegedly, with Donald Trump back in the day. And there were some payoffs and some other things that would happen. But anyway, now we're talking about her and her attorney, which we all saw on TV a lot back in the day when all that was going on.
He was
on
a
TV.
very anti-Trump guy, right?
Yeah, well, that, and also he was just your typical kind of lawyer, ambulance chaser, if you will, kind of guy that was out
high
there.
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
he knew how to do the publicity thing, that's for
Yeah.
sure. So.
Well, so she wrote a book, Total Disclosure, where she talks about, or she has a big chapter about the alleged relationship with Donald Trump before he became the president. And so the money that's in question here really the money that she was supposed to get for her advance payment on the book, which he then didn't give to her in full, and as we know now is supposed to give her the $300,000 back that he stole from her. So he is in fact guilty of fraud, wire fraud, and identity theft. You know, she has said that she's very happy and ecstatic that her previous actions did not reflect on the jurors, and they didn't take that into account, and were very, I guess, what's the right word? Honest and proper about the way they treated the situation, and she's very happy that she's supposedly she's winning. She doesn't think that she's going to get the actual money because apparently he doesn't have the money, but we'll see how it goes.
It's sad. I mean, it's sad whenever you see an attorney and somebody that's supposed to be a person of trust doing something like that.
Exactly.
And because the other thing too you didn't talk about was this, I think it's also embezzlement is another charge on that. But I mean, it's just really frustrating because you put your trust in these people as a person of trust that you can depend on and is going to take care of your situation or that for your family,
right?
Like after you're gone or something. And so it does happen occasionally, and most of the time those people go to prison. So.
And I think that's what's going to happen. He also has other charges that he is supposedly going to prison for 2.5 years shortly. But I think he got a lot of publicity due to the whole scandal with Stormy Daniels, which is great for him. I think he definitely won on that for a while. But now this coming out and this jury call is not going to be very good for his business.
No, the thing is, you're exactly right. The Stormy Daniels thing should have really, pumped up his business, and he shouldn't be, needing this $300,000 at all. But so poor management and probably. I mean, I can't. He wasn't with a white shoe law firm. Let's put it that way.
Right, exactly.
And anyway,
well,
so
it's a situation we all know will
the whole
continue.
thing's
And
the whole thing.
Totally.
Her, him, attorney.
Everyone is definitely.
It all has a funk to it. It all has a funk to it. Yeah. So.
For sure. All right, Jamie, there is not a day would go by in life that we don't hear of some kind of nature disasters or interesting animal stories. Well, I have one for you. It might not be as unusual to you, but it is pretty unusual to me. I tend to think of Florida as a very warm state. Mm-hmm. And
it's known for that in trailer parks, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so recently in West, I was going to say West Virginia, but that's not what I was going to say. West Florida is what I wanted to say. The temperatures dropped really dramatically, and there's been droppings of iguanas on the roads. Imagine that. Can you imagine?
No.
Well, so apparently it got so cold, which is like 10 Celsius, somewhere like 4 Celsius, which is like 30s, and 20, like upper 20s, 35 Fahrenheit.
It's 68
and it's like
degrees.
proper cold. proper cold for Florida.
Yeah.
And they basically have signs going out on the streets telling drivers and people that iguanas are falling down, and be careful so that you don't drive them over. Because they basically are so cold they can't hold on, and they drop on the roads and won't wake up till they
warm up.
They warm up. Yeah, imagine that.
It's a iguana sickle.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to share this story because I'm thinking, zebras and then monkeys. We need to continue this.
And tigers and
animal
bears,
zoo,
oh my.
right? Yay! So that's my story. What fun story do you have?
Oh, okay. So there was this cube of gold, solid gold, about knee high, that was in Central Park with its own detail, because it was to promote this cryptocurrency thing that was being launched that day.
Okay.
But they literally made a cube that was about the size of an ottoman.
Was it solid?
Solid, yeah,
Oh
solid.
my
And this thing was
God.
worth $11.7 million, and so it was.
Jesus.
It had its own security detail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine.
but how often would anybody see a cube like that of solid
So it was
gold?
exhibited. Anyone could come and have a look at it, take a picture with it.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, it's in Central Park, just out in the open.
That's
But they
insane.
had their own security detail. But who the hell's going to be able to go anywhere with it? Because
Right, I mean, you can't
like
lift it.
that thing is so damn heavy.
Yeah.
So
Definitely secure from anyone stealing it.
yeah, I think
In front of
maybe
everyone.
people running over and scraping something off. Yeah,
Gold dust.
Goldfinger.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, and we will see you in a week.
Bye, guys.